Hello, my name is Harrison Pitt. I'm a Senior Policy Fellow at Restore Britain. And today I stand before you at the White Cliffs of Dover, and indeed at Dover Castle, a spot that for many centuries has served as a rampart against conquest, against invasion, against subversion, and all the rest of it. And yet today, we find ourselves being conquered, being demographically transformed in our own homeland without a single shot fired, either in the attack or in the defense. For years, the political class in Britain has insisted that mass deportations are a fantasy, legally impossible, prohibitively expensive, a pipe dream for the reckless and irresponsible. Last year, we at Restore Britain published the most comprehensive plan ever produced to demonstrate otherwise. This is what it contains. If official figures are to be believed, nearly 2 million people now live in Britain without any legal right to do so. The cost to the British taxpayer exceeds £12 billion per year, and that is before we even before we account for the pressure that their presence puts on schools, on hospitals, on housing, and all the rest of it. Our leaders know this, as well as we do, as well as you do. They have chosen repeatedly to look the other way. The objections we hear are always the same. We are told that the legal obstacles are insurmountable, that the practical logistics are too much of a headache, and once those frankly pathetic complaints fail, that the very notion of mass deportations is monstrous in any case. Nothing could be further from the truth. Now, the legal obstacles are real, but they are man-made. And what Parliament has enabled, Parliament can remove. We would repeal the Human Rights Act. We would withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights, the court of which, the Supreme Court of which, as it were, in Strasbourg, has spent many decades substituting their own preferences, their own judicial preferences, for the will, the democratic will, of the British people. We would remove from our own domestic British law the various legal loopholes rooted fundamentally in the UN Refugee Convention on Human Rights that we've incorporated by multiple statutes into our own law, from those laws in order to ensure that illegal break-ins who have travelled through multiple safe countries in the course of getting to Britain and then demand our protection can no longer do so and manipulate us psychologically in that way. We would pass what we call at Restore Britain our very own Great Clarification Act, designed to restore to our own elected members of Parliament, your own accountable elected members of Parliament, the unambiguous authority in our Constitution to overrule and shoot down acts of subversive judicial activism in real time. But as well as clearing away all of these legal obstacles to mass deportations, we would also create an unapologetic hostile environment designed to make illegal residence in Britain impossible, untenable at every level of our society. Under a Restore Britain government, access to everything that right now makes life for illegal immigrants living in Britain very congenial, a picnic. Frankly, we're talking here about access to housing, we're talking about access to banking, we're talking about access to employment, we're talking about access even to our own NHS services. All of these and more would be unapologetically removed. We would also establish a self-deportation app for those illegal immigrants who, having twigged exactly which way the wind is blowing, decide they would prefer to leave on their own terms rather than ours. For those who don't leave, they shall have to contend with a vastly expanded immigration enforcement effort, with former RAF bases and other such sites repurposed as temporary detention facilities and forced deportation scaled in our ambitions to around 150,000 per year. Last but not least, we would also work to establish a kind of deportation NATO, as we call it. This would be an alliance of Western countries acting in concert, pooling their own resources in order to apply pressure. We're talking here about trade sanctions, we're talking about remittance taxes, we're talking about asset seizures, pressure of that kind applied to foreign governments in order to persuade them to take back their own illegals, rather than understanding that at the moment, Western countries are a tremendous soft touch and they can get away with being recalcitrant and refusing to do so. Now, naturally, these sorts of pressures are only so powerful when employed by a single country. But when employed by multiple Western countries all at once, and with an established escalatory chain of measures for making things hurt, the pressure will be near impossible to withstand. The NATO-like principle at work is clear enough. disregard for one member state's demographic security equals disregard for all member states' demographic security, and a response, a collective response, is to be expected. Assuming 150,000 forced deportations per year and a ratio of 3 voluntary departures for every one of those forced deportations, the entire illegal immigrant population, insofar as we can discern the real number in Britain at the moment, should be cleared within the space of about 3 years. Naturally, these dynamics are always incredibly fluid, and we shouldn't be naive or complacent about the scale of the undertaking or the ways in which real-world events could knock things off course. But our realistic estimate at Restore Britain is that the whole job could be done within 2 years and 5 months. Of course, it goes without saying that this operation will cost money. Our estimate is that it will cost, over a 5-year period, anywhere between 49 billion and 57 billion. But the truth of the matter is that the illegal immigrant population being here already costs British taxpayers somewhere in the region of 12.5 billion per year. And that figure is only growing every day. Enforcement fines, asset seizures, remittance taxes, these would go a long way to funding the operation too. Every single penny spent on mass deportations would only bring us closer to the day when the much heftier costs involved in the illegal immigration problem itself no longer exist. The only logical alternative to mass deportations is mass illegality. Consequently, the mass deportation of every single illegal immigrant living in Britain must be the first triumph in a wider struggle to restore Britain herself. Far from anything radical, this is the bare minimum that we have a right to expect in a law-governed country built by us and for us. If you would like to read our full policy paper on this vital question for Britain's future, read our mass deportations document, Mass Deportations, Legitimacy, Legality and Logistics, available at restorebritain.org.uk. Stop the boats, mate. No. I could tell you were a sympathizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, good lad.
Good man.